Welcome to your Wellness Wins Live. This is the channel where we talk about wellness. We always hear about the things that are challenges to our health, and we experience aches and pains, and we hear about all the woes when it comes to healthy living and our lifestyle choices. And so this channel is about wellness wins. I want to hear about the wellness wins that's going on in people's lives, my life, my colleagues' life, my peers' life, my coach's life, my partner's life. And so I want to welcome everyone to Hey, Act Hot Squad, first and foremost, but welcome to another Wellness Wins Live. I'm your host, Coach Nayela, and today we'll be talking about something that every entrepreneur, creative, and human being needs to hear. And it's about showing up anyway. Showing up. And you have those days when your motivation is missing, your energy is low, or the french fries are calling your name, right? We have those days, but what sets us apart from the survival to the thriving mode of things is when we engage in and lean into moving anyway, moving forward anyway. We will have our mishaps, we will have our setbacks, and it is not a failure until we stop, right?
Mhm.
And so today I'm joined by the amazing Tamay Shannon, social media strategist, speaker, and CEO of W2S Marketing, who's been helping purpose driven entrepreneurs like myself make social media make sense for over a decade. So, welcome to May.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, and so Tamay is has worked with incredible artists or clients like Kim Coles, Goody Nation, and the Government Contractors Association. I worked with them for a little snippet too on the leadership role, but we're gonna bypass that. So she combines creativity and data to help entrepreneurs build strategies that get results without burnout. Burnout. She'll say, "Ma'am, go get some rest. Go get some rest, ma'am." Okay. So she's also a best-selling author who believes wellness and business growth start with one thing, and that's being consistent. And I'm gonna give her an opportunity to share a little bit about her and her business. So, Tamay, go ahead. Who are you? And thank you for joining.
Right. Hey, y'all. Hey. Coach Nayela pretty much summed it up, but really, my philosophy about social media, digital marketing, is that it's an art and a science, and that you can have fun with it, but you got to have the analytics to figure out if the fun you're having is having an impact on your business. So I make sure that business owners bring both those sides to the back end of their social so that it hits their bottom line.
That bottom line. When you are investing your time and your energy, because wellness is all about the energy that you give, the energy that you receive, you want to make sure you're having a return on that investment.
So,
Your time you will never get back, right? So I get the opportunity to work with Tamay every week, whether she likes it or not. Right? And so Tamay works with entrepreneurs, and with you working with entrepreneurs on a daily, weekly basis, how do you define showing up anyway, especially when the motivation, the drive, the purpose seems to be lost somewhere? When that motivation isn't there, how do you define that showing up anyway?
right. And I guess it really depends, honestly, on why the motivation isn't there. If the motivation isn't there because it's a burnout situation and I'm just done, then I literally look at what is the bare minimum that I need to do to keep everything on the rails bare minimum. And when I say bare minimum, I'm like, there's probably like two or three things that have to be done in a day to make sure things don't go off the rails. And then after that, done, right? But if there's just like a I don't wanna, just because I wake up as a 12-year-old and I don't wanna, then I'm like, hey, I have to remind myself, what am I committed to? What did I say I wanted out of this experience? Or what did I say I wanted out of taking this thing on? So it's reminding myself why I said yes. Because at the end of the day, your feelings are great, and most of the time, they don't matter. Not because they're bad, feelings are awesome, but for me at least, personally, I will absolutely be like, oh my goodness, I definitely should eat a meal, but it's in the kitchen and I'm in the living room and I don't feel like it. So I'm gonna just sit here for a while and then maybe in 2 hours I might get something. But this movie is really good, so I'm not gonna get nothing. And then 5 hours later, I'm like, why am I so hungry? Well, ma'am, you didn't feel like getting up. So this is why you're hungry now. So it just depends.
It depends. It just depends. And I hear you say that it's about doing the bare minimum and
Mhm.
analyzing why the motivation is gone,
Yeah,
right? Is it because I'm done? You
right.
know, how do I stay on the rails, or are you simply lazy? That's kind of what I heard in the stuff.
Sometimes it's that's an indicator. If you notice you're fighting something every day, then you gotta like, wait a minute. Why are you fighting this every day? Is it something that you don't want to do? You're treating it like, oh, it's an obligation. I have to do it. So yeah, it's just it gives you an opportunity to look at the things in your life and make sure they're still aligned with what you're up to.
Absolutely. It's that reflective work. That's that internal work and making sure that you remember the purpose.
Mhm.
Because we will have the feelings. You've already stated that we will have those feelings. They
Well,
come. And sometimes the feelings are telling us to do things that don't align with where we're actually going. And sometimes they can tell us something like, warning, warning, make another turn. So taking that time to pause, notice, and choose the next step after you've done some reflective work will allow a person to keep showing up anyway. And even if that next state of showing up means doing something different or pivoting, right? So I think that's great in terms of the reflective part of what you do as a social media strategist and how it ties into the wellness in personally and in business. And so you've we've had conversations about food and just the energy, and it's easy for us to sit at the desk and for 2 or 3 hours and 8 hours look up and you haven't had a bite, right? So I always encourage people, get some protein in. A protein drink. They have vegan based protein drinks that you can at least nourish your cells, and drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated so that you can operate from a good place, so to speak, and not burn out. But we've talked about being intentional about eating protein instead of French fries, right? you have you have chosen to intentionally these last months think about
mhm.
your intake,
Yeah,
and I love that because it speaks to the transparency in our lifestyles as
right,
entrepreneurs. There is
right.
no perfect image, there's no perfect schedule or any of those things. It is about consistent choices. So how do you apply that same principle in terms of intentionality
Hmm.
to your business and your social media strategy?
Hmm. I think where it intentionality it requires I don't want to say work, but it requires focus. It requires a certain like, all right, if I said I'm going to eat protein, more protein, what meal is it actually going to be? Is it going to be a breakfast meal? Is it going to be, I'm going to get it into lunch? Is it like, what is it actually going to be? So it's the same thing with business and strategy. It's like, I want more money. Okay, great. Absolutely. Totally agree. Want you to have more clients. Let's do it. But where do you want these clients to be? Like, and what revenue stream of your business do you want these clients to be? Is it like one-on-one? Do you want to do group? Is there a particular service you have that you're like, no, I want everybody in here? What is it? Because if you just say, I want X in a general manner, there's no way for your brain to start working on, well, how do we make X happen? Because it's super general. It's just like, okay, yeah, sure, let's have more money. But if you're like, oh, I actually want 5 more clients in my signature program, that's something that you can actually begin to work through and really dive deep and be like, okay, how do we actually make this happen?
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. That's good advice in terms of knowing the numbers. I hear knowing the numbers, being specific,
Yeah.
having it be measurable. And you used small numbers in terms of like five, versus a million, because person like, I'm not going to call no names over here, will be like, I want 10 million people. And then it's like, okay, ma'am, dial it back. Right. And so, having that smart goal so that you know where you're going. It's almost like having a destination in your GPS so that you can build something backwards, right? So, all right, in this process, and it something else you said also made me think about how motivation ties into that, because if you don't know where you're going, you tend to drift off and the lack of motivation kicks in real quick because you don't even know where you're going, right? And so when we talk about wellness, because sometimes we talk about that, because you've been helping me with my my wellness coaching journey, and be like, "Ma'am, okay, I'm gonna keep saying that because that's what she says, and y'all can hear her
It's
say it
true. It's
on
true.
the on the social sessions that we have on
Right.
Sundays, right?"
She right.
And so, um, I talk about people always starting over on a Monday, and I think it's good to start from experience. It's not like you're resetting. What advice would you give to people who feel like they keep starting and stopping in their marketing journey in their business? Because I think there's kind of a parallel there when it comes to wellness and how they show up in their business. So, what advice would you give people
I
who
mean,
feel like, mm-hmm,
I think it's really just practice. And I don't think there's ever a time that you have it all down pat. You just have longer periods of time between you don't have a mess up. And so when you're first starting out, it's an easy example. When you first start walking, you might get a step. You might get a step and a half, but after that, you probably fell. And then you did 3 steps, and then you fell. And then you did 10 steps, then you fell. Then you were able just to walk. And then you tried to run and you stumbled, right? So it wasn't like all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to walk, and then you just walked, and it was perfect forevermore. Because who doesn't still trip every now and then? Who sometimes is like, oh, my feet did something that didn't make sense in my brain, and I just fell, right? It still happens, but you never at one point, you never say, oh, I haven't mastered walking. Let me practice on that again, right? You never doubt yourself like that. You're just like, oh, I had a stumble and fall, but I know how to walk. And so I think you just have to relate to it like that. I know how to do X. I know how to do this thing. I just had to stumble and fall. And I think
mm-hmm,
the back and forth isn't an indicator of like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, or you haven't mastered it, or blah 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 blah, or any of the other things you want to say about yourself as a way to be like, well, that's why you can't do it. No, it's just what it looks like to be in business. It's what it looks like to be a human. You won't always get it on the nail 100% of the time, but it's the that back and forth, and the longer you stay where you want to be is an indicator of your level of expertise about how you're doing it. But yeah, I think there's the on again, off again. Be kind to yourself. It happens to everyone. And then when you notice, like, oh, I haven't done it in a while, you just get back on there. Don't be like, oh, well, now that I haven't done it in a while, nobody's going to listen to me because they think I'm a fraud. It's not. People got a lot to worry about. It's cool. Okay, just get back on and keep it moving.
I love that. People have a lot to worry about. So they probably not even think about you. But when you come back on the scene, they'll think
Right,
about you again. So it's like,
right.
okay, keep on that wheel. I'm gonna pivot a little bit to May, because I feel like people come on the Wellness Wins, and then I bring people on and I talked a little bit about you, but I want to share that I met you through an organization that allowed us to connect, and you offer a space for people to grow in social media. For those that know this channel as Wellness Wins, my background is in real estate. I used to be, or I am a real estate agent licensed in Georgia and South Carolina, and hopefully Tennessee here in a few. And I did not want to go on social media. Like, I fought it, and it is a free platform when it talks. Social media is Facebook, Instagram, and I've grown into LinkedIn. And so I asked you the question about the marketing piece and people starting and stopping, because there is that mental hang up about being on a social media. I don't want to let people know about my business, or I don't want people in my business. I'm a business owner, but I don't want them in my business, right? So I'm going to ask you to share maybe a tip or two, or whatever advice you can give people who are in their mindset about sharing too much
Mhm.
on social media, and how they can overcome that objection,
Mhm.
internally, externally, whatever that is.
Yeah, I think the sharing too much is an indicator of things that are not addressed. So if you honestly think you're sharing too much, and I ask, well, who do you think you're oversharing to? He's like, well, my family. I'm like, oh, well, why do you think this is too much for your family? Well, they're gonna say X, Y, and Z. I was like, oh, well, that's probably a conversation you've got to figure out. Why do you have this contention with your family? And if you're okay with it, that's fine, right? But that this is a consequence. You are okay with that, which means you share less over here. Or if you're like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm bragging. It's like, okay, well, let's look at that. Is this a self thing? Because you talking once a month about yourself isn't bragging. And if you can't even do that and that feels too much for you, then you've got to recalibrate what it means to be in business and share of yourself and what your business is committed to, because that's not bragging. That's just sharing, this is what I do. Coca-Cola doesn't, they're not like, oh, well, we what is it? Like, we make 32 million smiles, whatever the little slogan is on during the holidays, right? Nobody's ever saying, oh, we're bragging. Like, no, you gonna get this commercial because we gonna get your money, okay? Right? They never just,
Yes.
you, but when people are thinking, I don't want to share too much, you've got to investigate what is the thing that you're really afraid of behind the I don't want to share too much.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. What is the thing you're afraid of behind the thought, the statement of I don't want to share too much? What is it that you're hiding behind, or what has not been addressed? That's deep. I guess because a person like me never thought about that. I was just like, I don't want to be on there because I just didn't want to be out in Front Street, and I quite frankly was afraid. I didn't know what I didn't know, and so once I started going into it, thank you for the push and the strategy behind it, and being able to look at the insights and look at it from a business owner standpoint. It gave me a different perspective, and it gives me better perspective of how to share. Because one thing that I think, when with working with you, that I've identified is, if it's my family that I'm worried about, or whoever is out there, you're worried about your family, how would you feel if someone serviced your family member? You have the same business, but they opted to go to somebody else because you did not share the marketing message out there, so that they knew that you were serious about your business. You know,
Exactly.
you know.
If you got people saying, oh, no, you did that, well, unless they be in the shady boots, you're not talking about yourself enough, right? Like, if people are genuinely surprised, like, I didn't know that's what you did, then you're not talking enough.
Mm, that part. And now I'm glad you said that because a lot of times as business owners, we think because we say it so many times to
Mhm.
different people that we think the same people are hearing the same stuff over from us. And it's not. It's just that we're talking to different people about the same
Right.
thing. So keep
Right.
talking. Right? Keep talking. All right. And so currently, the Act Hot Squad is doing a challenge, and I want to thank you for pushing me to do the challenge November of last year. She was like, "Ma'am, put a date on it, because I'm tired of you talking about it." Right, ma'am, put a date on. That is what happened. That is exactly what happened, ma'am. Put a date on it. That part is true. The other part I might have ad libbed and embellished. I don't know, but we're currently in our hard 90 challenge. So this is the first year that it is formalized. Woo, woo, woo. And we are in day 2 of a 90-day focus on one area, whether somebody is looking at increasing their mindset, increasing their movement within their body, or they're just looking for better connection. And I want to know from your perspective, how does showing up consistency in one area spill over into others?
So there's this person I super like because I like how they think about their business and their life. Her name's Natalie Bolin, and she says something like, "If you want to develop confidence, you'll keep your word to yourself." And that's all consistency is you said, I'm gonna get up and have lemon water before I do anything else. And every day that you have lemon water, you're confirming to yourself that what comes out of your mouth happens. And so when you
Yes.
confirm to yourself that what comes out of your mouth happens, then you start saying other things. Well, this is going to come into my life. And then what comes out of your mouth happens. And so there's where you gain the confidence, is that consistency. So when you're like, okay, I'm going to create a business, it's going to serve these people, it's going to attain this. That is why they say it's so important to write down your goals, because you're engaging with them in a different way. So it's the consistency that delivers that confidence. So whatever you say happens, and your brain is like, well, look, she said some crazy stuff, but every time she says something, it happens. Let's do it. And it gets to work, right? So it's that. That's why it's so important.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness. That consistency builds that confidence. It builds that confidence. And that is so true. Every time you say something and you do the action behind it, it reassures and confirms. And it's that faith. It's faith in knowing that it will come to pass. So that's awesome. Now, I'm gonna do a quick wellness wins round with you. Okay, you can't think long. You can't think long. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, or 3 questions in the statement. I mean, 2 questions in the statement. So first one is, what small win have you had this week? What's one small win that you've had this week?
I went
Do
grocery
do do.
shopping
Oh,
and made like a dinner. So I made a dinner that I feel guilty about it because it's so simple, but it makes me so happy. It is so old school. It's just onions. It's onions and potatoes. Like, but you know how your grandpa did the cut up the onions, sautéed, and then salt and pepper. It makes me so happy. I love this dish, but I felt guilty because I was like, oh my gosh, it's so starchy and like all the things about health. But it makes me happy. It gives me comfort. So I would say doing that, executing that.
awesome. Okay, so starchy dinner with onions. Okay, got it. One
Yes,
social.
absolutely.
Okay, what's one social media tip that doubles as a wellness mindset shift?
Oh, um, you can turn it off and it'll be okay. So I say that like there's this thing about social that tricks you into believing that your opportunity or moment is going to happen right now, or right now, or right now. And so then you're always like, well, I've got to be on, or I've got to do this thing, or I have to pay attention, or I have to do this. And that's not the case. And that only leads you to one, not being on strategy for your social, but also not giving your brain the time it needs to daydream and figure the weird stuff out, because those times where you're like, I don't know where it came from, it's just a download. Well, you didn't have that download when you were doom scrolling. You had that download when you were reading, or you're staring off into the distance and just thinking, or you were taking a shower. That's when it came, but not when you were doom scrolling on Facebook or thinking about, well, I gotta post something right now. Let me create something. It didn't happen then. So you can turn it off and walk away and it'll be okay.
Oh, she said, turn it off, walk away, and it'll be okay. And in that, I also heard planning, preparation,
Mm-hmm.
because when you have a plan and you stick to it, you put it out there, you know that it's going to reach who it needs to reach, and
Mm-hmm.
it will be okay.
Yeah.
ooh, that was so good. Okay. All right. So I need you to finish this sentence for me.
Okay.
Showing up anyway means.
Showing up anyway means you can show up ugly, or show up imperfect. You can show up not even, like, sometimes literally. So here we go. Perfect example. I dislike deeply washing dishes. Don't like it. Not my thing. Doesn't make me happy. Something like, it gives me joy. No, if I didn't care about the environmental impact, best believe I would always have those Chinette plates and be like, throw it away. Ain't gotta worry about dishes, right? That would be me. So how I deal with my dishes in an adult way, because I gotta clean dishes because I cook, is I will do, like, look, to me, all you gotta do is five. All you gotta do is five. And at the end of the five, if I'm like, oh, do do more, I'll do more. But if the end of the five is like, I didn't even want to do those five, you can walk away. It's okay. You can leave the rest over there. It is right. But it it's so I just show up, and sometimes I don't feel like it, and I'm angrily washing the dish that I made dirty. That's okay. I still did the five, and if I am moved to do more than five, I allow myself to, but I don't get mad at myself because I did the five and I was like, out, I'm done.
Oh, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. So your one week you win this week. Okay, so showing up anyway means because let
I
finish
just
that
I did.
statement. And I want to recap, and I'm like, oh Lord, I done forgot that one already. But go ahead.
Showing up anyway means it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. I also heard that it means like setting that small goal so that at least you've accomplished something. And then when you accomplish that, you might have room to do a little bit more, but
Right.
if not, at least you did that part, right? So
Exactly.
that's good. That's good. The small win was the starchy dish. I feel like that was connecting. That's a connection piece. You've
Hmm.
been thinking about grandpa
Yeah,
experiences and all
exactly
of
that.
that stuff. And then your social media tip. Oh, you could shut it off and it will be okay. I think I'm gonna carry that. You might hear me say that next Sunday. I can shut it off and it'll be okay. All right. So, Tamay, I want to thank you for keeping it real and reminding us uh, what it looks like to show up anyway, especially when we don't feel like it. I want to thank you for the space that you provide on a weekly basis. Myself, Dr. Don, and others have been benefiting from your services for so long. And it allows me to keep going and not quit. Like I would have quit like probably 2 years ago on certain things. And I just want to thank you. Is there anything that you would like to share as we close out?
Yeah. I'll just put a pin on, or put a bow on it. You keep talking about the social media savvy club. So if you're curious about what it looks like to have accountability with your marketing and social, join the club. We meet every Sunday. And it's just, think of it as, the longer I know you, the more I can be like, now you know good and well you wasn't supposed to be doing that, or like, we let's do that. But that's, so the longer you're in it, that's the kind of you get. I'm just there to make sure that you are successful, whatever that is for you. So yeah, the social media savvy club.
Awesome. And so, Act Hot Squad, your takeaway today is a whole bunch of takeaways. I want to hear about them. I want to hear about them. I think I'm going to take away you can shut it off and it will be okay. Like that's my takeaway. Also, being present is not about being perfect. Showing up is a part of wellness, and your wellness is a personal journey for you, and it translates into your business. And that's why I have Tamay here. So thank you. If you have not joined the Hard 90 Challenge, do that today. We are on day 2. We're meeting tonight at 6:30 Eastern Time. 3:30 Pacific. We have people from all over the nation actually in this challenge. So I'm excited where you commit to one particular area. It's your mind, your body, and connection. And then we'll go over specifics. However, you need help in showing up for these next 90 days, I'm here to help you. And we want to have a habit. We want to build consistency, right? We want to build our muscles, our mindset. We want to build resilience in this community. So please sign up for the Act Hot newsletter. You'll get details on everything else. And to May, before we go, how can everyone follow and connect with you?
I am on LinkedIn, Tamay Shannon, Tamay Shannon, or you can find me on Instagram at W2S Marketing.
Ooh, yes. So with that, keep envisioning you, everyone, because the key to your consistency, the key to your wellness, the key to your mindset, it's already in you. It's in wellness, business, and life. You already have it inside of you. I'm Coach Nyella, and we will see you next time.